It's okay to miss them. It's okay to still love them. It's okay to still think of them, but don't sit in it. You're going to have to learn how to release that. Because in order for God to bring in what he has for you, you're going to have to let go of what no longer serves you. How can God intervene and bring in what's really for you when you're holding on so tight of what he's telling you to let go of? You gotta let it go. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So I'm not sure what I'm going to title this video yet. It's between healing after heartbreak or why God still has you in your single season. And if there's anyone that can talk about heartbreak, it'll be me. I've been through so many heartbreaks, so much betrayal, so much hurt, pain. I've been through it all. Like, I've been through a lot. I've been through abuse. I've been through betrayal. I've been through backstabbing. I've been through like an accumulation of a lot of things. Within those experiences, God has taught me valuable lessons within those heartbreaks. Oftentimes when we are going through heartbreaks, we are just looking at what the other person did. We're not really looking at what God is trying to show us and teach us within that heartbreak. I recently did go through another heartbreak. It wasn't until this specific heartbreak that I went through where God revealed things that needed to be shown within me. So I'll give you guys like a little backstory, not too much, just a little bit, because we're not ever going to make what we go through about what the other person did to us, but what God is trying to show us, what God is revealing within us, and what God is trying to teach us. I made a video a while ago about what I learned within a heartbreak. I don't remember what I titled it, but a few months ago when I made the video and released it, when I made that particular video, I filmed it sometime last year and didn't release it until I think the end of last year. But to make a long story short, I was talking to a guy. In that video, I did say that I would give you guys a follow-up, and here's a follow-up. This will be my first and my last time talking about this experience. And this video isn't to bash the person. It's just to share my experience, share what I've learned, and to help others navigate heartbreaks and to explain the reason why we keep experiencing the same type of pain and hurt from lovers. During the initial time that me and the guy were like talking, we were talking for almost like 2 years, but it wasn't consecutive. It was like on and off. We would talk, then we would stop, then we talk, then stop. And this very last time, we completely broke it off because it was revealed that he did not want to have any like long-term relationship with someone who has a child. He would prefer his first child to be with a woman who hasn't had the experience yet. So that is not the problem that I had, because I don't have a problem with people having that preference. My problem came in at why wasn't this revealed when we first started talking? You understand? I feel like something like that you make known when you guys are in the beginning dating stages, like when you're expressing what you guys are looking for, getting to know each other and things like that. It hurt me the most because it's just like, you knew I had a child when we first started talking, so why didn't you say something then? You know, the first time we started talking, we both were just getting out of a relationship. Just because we were just freshly out of something, it really wasn't a good time for us to talk in the first place. During that time, he was going through whatever he was going through like personal things. We stopped talking. He kind of ghosted me, actually. And then like a few months later, he actually told me he was going through some things or whatever. I kind of figured like during that time we were talking, he was going through things, because I'm really good at like picking up energy off of people. And we both weren't ready to even be in anything. So we stopped talking. Then he came back like a few months later. I asked him during that time, what are you coming back for? Like, is it because you were talking to somebody else and it didn't work out? You want to see where things go, or you just want to have fun? Like, what is it? Like, what did you come back for? Even then, he really wasn't like being honest, because I felt like that was another opportunity to state that how you really felt. But of course, no, he didn't. And a lot of the times people don't really say their real intentions, because they know if you really knew their true intentions, you wouldn't want to talk to them. Like, if you really knew what was really in their heart, you really wouldn't want to have a relation with them. He kind of made it seem like he would want to see where it goes, or, you know. We started talking again. After like a few months, I'm just like, hello, what are we doing? I feel like that second time around when we were talking, we actually got closer, and I was picking up this energy. I'm like, he doesn't really ask about my child. I don't really know how he feels about my child. Like, I was getting that type of energy off of him because he would never ask about her or anything. And if he did, it was kind of because I like brought it up or something. So I didn't feel comfortable with that. So I asked him about it. That's when he revealed I would prefer to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't have a child. And that really hurt me at that time, because it's just like, so you set up here a year in my face, knowing this isn't what you really wanted. So I had cut it off. And this was my mistake. I did miss him, and I really cared about him. That second time around was very hard for me to get over what we had. I did reach back out to him. When I reached back out, I knew there was a chance that I would probably end up heartbroken again. But my initial reason for reaching out wasn't to resume anything. It was literally just to, hey, how are you? But I knew it was a chance that we would probably start talking again. Right in that moment, God is like, okay, so if you get an outcome that you don't want, are you ready for the consequences of that? And at the time, I wasn't really thinking of that. I was just thinking, you know, I really loved him. I really cared for him. You know, we started talking again. And I want to be fully transparent with you guys. I don't want to like sugarcoat anything, or like, I did miss him. I did want to talk to him again. I missed the time that we spent and shared with each other. And I could tell when I reached out, he did too. We've invested a lot of time in each other. I don't know at that moment, like, what my whole mindset was. I kind of feel like I was just having the hopes of, okay, maybe he'll change his mind. Maybe this will work out. That was the biggest mistake I could have made, thinking things would work out. And I knew it was a big chance that it wouldn't, because I loved and cared for him so much. I kind of deceived myself a little into thinking that something would change. And that third time around, we traveled with each other. We spent our birthdays with each other. It was like a lot to just let go of. When you really love and care for somebody, you tend to overlook things that you shouldn't. And that is exactly what I did. And this is what ended it. One night, we're on the phone. Perfectly fine. Everything is perfectly fine. We literally just celebrated my birthday. And he was telling me that he wanted to take me to a restaurant or whatever that just opened up. He receives a call from a family member. He tells me he's going to call me back. I'm like, okay. Calls back. Whole tone is changed. The energy is just different. And he goes and says, I don't want to feed you a fantasy because I know that this isn't going to lead anywhere. And I'm just like, okay, so what you trying to say? He basically just telling me, okay, you can make a choice. And I'm just like, okay, well, you don't have to tell me twice. I went to his house the next day, told him in person, if we're not going to further things and make it official, then we can just end it. I wanted him to look me dead in my eyes to let me know that I wasn't the one for him. And he did exactly just that, looked me in my eyes and told me that this wasn't what he really wanted. We ended it there. I made the decision like, okay, this can't continue. And I did ask him, I'm like, so what was all of this for? And he said, oh, well, I just thought that you were a good woman and I thought you deserved to be treated well. And I'm just thinking in my head, okay, so you just confirmed that you knew I was a good woman and this is what you kind of do, you know? I fought myself really hard about this because it's just like, I knew I shouldn't have went back. I knew the very first time it was brought up, just left it where it was at. And I didn't. And that resulted in me being heartbroken. But I feel like had he just been honest from the very, very beginning, all of this could have been like kind of avoided. It really hurt coming from him because I really loved and trusted this person. When you're in love, you're not seeing things clearly. You're not looking at things clearly. You're painting the red flags green. Because it wasn't all bad, I'm thinking, this must be for me. He's a good guy. He treats me good. It was just a lot that I was like holding on to, and the love that I thought that I had for this man, and me thinking that I won't even say I was thinking I was in love with him, which made it harder for me to let go. And I'm honest to admit that that's a big part of the reason why it was harder for me to let go. When I do love people, whether it's a friend, family, lover, like, I fight for what I love, you know? I fight for who I love and I care for. And I kind of give people chance after chance after chance, because I know if I really let go, I'm not ever going to look back. Like, I don't let people back in my life, especially after you really hurt me. I don't double back. I gave you chances. You messed up. It didn't work. And when I fully let go, I let go. That's why I try hard with my relationships with people. I'm never going to let you back in after this. But he had a desire to be with someone who didn't have a child. So I let him go and let him fulfill his desire. I just didn't like that. I felt like he mishandled me and he was being deceiving by not being upfront about what his true intentions was and what he was really looking for. I never really expressed deeply how hurt I was to him, because I got to a point in my life where people know what they're doing. People know what they're doing. People know what they did. I don't over express myself anymore. I might tell you how I feel, but I'm not going to keep repeating it. I'll just remove myself. That's essentially what I did. Like, I had to let him go. And the thing about it, like, it wasn't just us involved. He had a cat. The man had a cat, and the cat was at my house. So when we stopped talking, the cat was still at my house. He said I could keep the cat, and I really did deeply love the cat. Like, me and my daughter got attached to the cat. But I also didn't want the cat, like, being a branch between us, like a string that was, like, attached between us. Not only that, this cat had, like, things going on with it. I had to take the cat to the vet. I'm left with the vet bill. Then the cat started, like, attacking my daughter. And the cat was a very friendly cat. I love that cat. But the cat started going crazy. Animals could get territorial. And I felt like the cat was kind of getting territorial with me. She would, like, go after my daughter. And she never did that. Like, she was not a cat that would lash out and attack. But once I started seeing those signs, and I also know that the cat wasn't really feeling well and the cat was irritable and stuff, I'm just like, okay, you can't be attacking my child now. Now you gotta go back. And when I gave the cat back, that hurt. Like, I was crying over the cat. I was mourning over the cat. Like, the cat passed or something. Like, I was really, really hurt. So now I gotta deal with getting over this man and now having to pick myself back up after losing the cat too. And then my daughter was attached to the cat. It was just like a lot involved. I was angry at myself. At first, I wasn't angry with him. I was more hurt. But you know, when you're going through the process of a heartbreak, you go through the hurt first, and then you get angry, and then it's the resentment, and then you start to dislike the person. It's just like a cycle that goes on. This time around, when I went through a heartbreak, in my past, the way that I would get over a heartbreak, I would grow resentment and dislike for the person. That's how eventually I just got over them, and as time went by. But this time around, God is like, no. Absolutely not. It's not happening. It's not going down like that. I'm about to sit you down, and I'm about to reveal to you why you keep going through the same heartbreaks that you keep going through. God had to work on me, and he told me, you're going to have to forgive him. You're not going to hold resentment towards him. You're not going to be angry, because when you do that, you delay blessings when you hold resentment and unforgiveness in your heart for others. Yes, what they did may have been wrong, but also you need to listen to God when he is revealing things to you about that person and showing you the red flags. And you're going to have to learn how to put your emotions to the side sometimes and walk away and sit in God's presence and allow him to work things out within you and allow him to heal you. When you just go into relationship after relationship and you're talking to different people and you haven't got to the root problem of what's deep within you that needs to be healed and corrected, you're not going to make the right decisions and make the right choices with your love life, and you're going to keep encountering the same type of person. When you are unhealed, that is the perfect time for the enemy to slither his way in, because the enemy knows what you like too. That's why he sends the same type of person. It's just a different face. They are counterfeits. If you do not sit in God's presence, long enough to hear his voice and know who he is and get to know who you really are and to fix those things within you, you will not be able to recognize what's a counterfeit, what's real. You won't know when to let go. How can God intervene when you're holding on so tightly to things that he's trying to tell you to let go? You have to let God in order for him to work out certain things within you. So during that process, when I was going through this heartbreak, I cried every day. I cried almost every day. I was very sad. You know, you're going through a heartbreak when you cry so much to the point where like your heart starts to ache. I feel like the most hurtful part about it is like I felt like I was deceived by him. Like I trusted you. He was hiding his true intentions. You didn't really have intentions to further things with me. So that just means you weren't being intentional with me. And then you tell me who you rather be with, you know? Which really hurt me. The way we were with each other, like if people were to see us together, they would really think that we had something going on. Like I felt like the connection was there, the chemistry was there, everything was there, and we really did care about each other. For you to just come out one day, and it wasn't even like he came out and said it. I had to get it up out of you in order for you to say it, which was the part that really hurt. But I couldn't really fault him too much because I had to fault myself, because God kept telling me a long time ago, stop getting in situationships with people. Stop entertaining guys who don't want commitment, real commitment, long-term commitment. Stop doing that. And I wasn't listening. I kept doing it. It was something within me that kept settling for stuff like that. And it doesn't even matter what a man or a woman, whatever, what they do for you. It doesn't mean nothing if it's no real commitment there, and it definitely don't mean nothing if God isn't in it. And I swore up and down that God confirmed that this man was the man for me, and I just kept making excuses in my mind, like maybe he needs more time, maybe he's confused, maybe this, maybe that. You can't go off of that. You go off of what they are showing you now. And you don't wait and sit around and wait till somebody makes their mind up about you. If they are confused, they don't know what they really want, they're sending you mixed signals, you leave. That double-mindedness, if somebody's double-minded, they're going to be double-minded in all of their ways. Let them be, because then you'll be sitting around being a fool for them. And I ain't nobody's fool. Played the fool before, but I'm not. No, that's not who God called me to be, and that's not what God really truly wants for you. If it's sending you confusion and mixed signals, that ain't of God. While I was navigating this heartbreak, God revealed to me that the brokenness within you didn't start once you got in relationships. It started when you were a child, when you felt unloved, when you felt like nobody cared for you, when you were going through those suicidal thoughts. Most of what we drag into our adulthood comes from our childhood. What we seen, what we experienced, how we felt. It all stems from when you were a child. We drag it all the way into our adulthood. So God had to fix the broken little girl in me, and he had to reveal to me what was deeply lying within my heart that I was storing up. And it wasn't until I got really fed up of crying and stuff, and I just sat in my room one day, and I was just so tired, and I was crying out to God, and I just told him, like, reveal to me what is in my heart. And be careful with this, because when you ask God to reveal to you what is in your heart, be careful what you ask for, because he's gonna give it to you. He gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. Like, he gonna tell you and show you everything that's up in that thing that needs to be renewed and corrected and restored. And once he started revealing to me all of the things that was up in my heart, all the past trauma, all the insecurity, all the unforgiveness I still was holding in my heart for people that I didn't know that I was holding in my heart for people. Once I was now aware of what was in my heart, God got deep. And that process was hard. I remember thinking, like, it's going to take me like a year to get over this. Nope. Once you give it to God, and you surrender and you vow to walk this thing out with God and make the necessary corrections, invite God in to help you do the correcting, it will not take you a whole year, longer than 8 months, 6 months, to get over the heartbreak. I'm telling you guys. But you have to be willing to listen, sit in God's presence, and seek him. And God revealed to me, you are still single because not only are you not ready, you don't know how to set boundaries with people. You let people overstay their welcome. You don't know when to let go when I tell you to let go. You're always overlooking red flags. You're not listening to your intuition. And for me, he was telling me, and I've been told you to stop having sex outside of marriage. And that was a big one. I was like, ooh. Well, and it's not that God tells us to do that because he doesn't want us to enjoy that type of intimacy. It's for our own protection. And for me, anytime I did do that, it was like I started to have like a disconnect with God. My discernment was weakened. I would stray away. Our God is a jealous God. Anytime you're giving more of your time to someone or something more than you give it to God, God don't like that. Because then you now make that person or that thing, money, the idea of marriage, the relationship, the business, you then make that an idol in your life, whether you know it or not. Anything that you give more time to than God has then become an idol in your life. So no, it's not going to work out. I would get distracted, always worry about what the person is doing. Are they talking to somebody else? God is like, I'm not going to give you anything until you make me number one priority in your life. Until you stop walking away and straying away from me. God wants us to have that close relationship with him, to always sit in his presence, to always come to him, to seek his face, so that we can recognize his voice, so that we will know what is truly for us and best for us, and so we can be in tune with our spirit, so that we will see things and know certain things, and we can see the warnings, and we can recognize the red flags. God will tell you your enemies' plans against you before your enemies even plan to plot against you. That's why it's very important to grow your relationship with God. Your spirit and your flesh are always going to be fighting against each other. Always. So when you stray away and you're not in your word and you're not praying like how you used to, and you're not fasting, and you're not really in tune with your spirit, what are you then feeding? You're feeding your flesh, which means your spirit is now weak, which is the perfect time for the enemy to slither his way in, because he's always out seeking who he may devour. And that is why you get deceived. That is why you end up in the heartbreaks. That is why you're always getting played. That is why you're not making the right decisions. That is why somebody is always misusing you. That is why, because you're not woke. God will allow you to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again until you finally wake up and surrender. Because there's nothing in this world for us. It's not. If God didn't give it to you, if God isn't leading you, you have to be careful, because people will come into your life, and this is no shade to nobody. I'm not even talking about my situation anymore. I'm speaking in general. People will come to you as a wolf in sheep's clothing, pretending to be somebody they're not, feeding you fairy tales just so they can get what they want out of you, just so they can attach themselves to your light, to do nothing but drain you, take from you, steal, kill, try to destroy you. The enemy is always going to come after what he knows you really deeply care about. A lot of times people are being used by the enemy and don't even know that they're being used. And when you are going through these heartbreaks, do not stay stuck on, oh my gosh, what if they go find someone else? What if they find somebody who they really love? What if somebody else comes and takes them? First of all, if somebody could come up and take what you thought was yours, it was never yours to begin with. That's one. If it's that easy for them to walk away and that easy for somebody else to snatch them up, it ain't for you. So don't be sitting there having those thoughts of them finding somebody else and being in a relationship with somebody else and having children with somebody else and getting married. That ain't none of your concern if they do. What's your concern is getting yourself together, healing from this heartbreak, so you could be in position to receive what God really has for you. That's it. What they're doing is their business. But you need to be about your business. God won't release certain blessings to us until we start walking in our purpose, until we start doing what God has been telling us to do. He won't, because he knows if he gives it to you now, you're going to get distracted. And you're not going to walk in your purpose. And you're not going to start the business. And you're not going to write the book. You're not going to do what he's telling you to do. He needs you to be obedient at this time so that he can release what he has for you. But if you put other things on a pedestal above God and before God, because God is a jealous God, he's not going to release it to you. You have to be in position to receive and stop putting other people before God. Because if he knows you're going to care more about the marriage or the relationship or the business or whatever, more do you spend time in his presence, he's not going to give it to you because you're not ready. So if you haven't found love yet, it's because you're not ready. It's not because it's not out here for you. It's not because God doesn't want you to be happy. It's simply because you're not ready yet and God is still working on you. And if he's working on you still, he's working on your spouse as well. When the time is right, you guys will come together. If it was really for you, it'll come back. And when it comes back, it'll come back correct. They either have to meet you where you are or surpass where you're at. That's it. Don't be dumbing yourself down, lowering your standards, none of that. Don't let the heartbreak dictate your value either. And don't be thinking those negative thoughts like, oh my gosh, there's no good men out here. There's no good women out here. All men cheat. All women cheat. They all lie. Everybody lies. Because when you start to have those things and you start speaking that, that's all you're going to receive. You're going to be every lying man, every lying, cheating woman. Like, that is what you're going to receive because that's what you have now came into agreement with. When you have those negative thoughts and you start reciting those negative thoughts, you start to water those thoughts. You're going to have to let go of the past, what happened, what occurred during the heartbreak. Like, you're going to have to heal from all of that. If you got them on Instagram, unfollow them. Old pictures, delete them. Anything that's going to take you back to that state and have you looking back, you're going to have to release that and let go of it. It's okay to miss them. It's okay to still love them. It's okay to still think of them, but don't sit in it. You're going to have to learn how to release that. Because in order for God to bring in what he has for you, you're going to have to let go of what no longer serves you. How can God intervene and bring in what's really for you when you're holding on so tight of what he's telling you to let go of? You got to let it go. You got to allow God in. You got to be real, sit with yourself, sit in his presence, be honest about your real feelings and how you really feel and how they've hurt you. You're going to have to lay all of that at his feet. And then he'll then show you all of the mistakes you have been making, that you have been doing over and over and over again, the pattern. And you really got to take a look, like, when has God ever really truly failed you? When I was in my heartbreak and I was looking, I was thinking, like, God has never really let me down. So if it didn't work out, it wasn't from God. God said you lack no good thing and he will not withhold any good thing from you. So if it didn't work out, it wasn't a good thing. It wasn't meant for you. When God is working through you and renewing you and strengthening you, once you pick yourself back up and you now know and you see the mistakes that you have been making, you then now have wisdom. So apply it. Don't keep making those same mistakes. Let go when God tells you to let go. Move on when he tells you to move on. You don't wait for anybody. Stop allowing people to overstay their welcome. Set boundaries. Have standards for yourself. Don't let nobody walk all over you and use you. Stop giving people chance after chance because they've already shown you who they are and what they'd rather do. You have to take things for what it is. And stop trying to paint the picture that you want it to look like. Because in reality, that's not what it is. And God has been showing you that. And that's why you end up in the same predicament. Because you are not listening. You aren't sitting in his presence. You may be idolizing other things, putting other things before God. Once you get in relationships, you become distracted. You can't fully walk in your purpose and do what it is that God is calling you to do. Well, you have a whole bunch of distractions going on. What God has really truly taught me also in this season, keep people out your business. Keep people out of your business. I've noticed when I was talking to this guy, everybody was in my business. I'm pretty sure he was telling people our business too. You know, people who he might have trusted. But that is the very thing that ended it. Like, he had a conversation with this person this family member, came back on the phone, whole different tone, revealed to me what the conversation they had was about, and it was about me, and it ended. And I noticed it was this one particular person in my life. Anytime they would figure out that me and this person was talking again, it ended literally like 2 months after they found out that we were talking again. Keep people out of your business. Once God brings you and your spouse together, whatever y'all go through, take it to God. Don't be telling all your friends your business, your family your business. Don't do that, because it ain't none of their business. Once you and that person has that covenant within God and y'all spoke those vows to each other, nobody else should be having a say in your relationship. When other people are in your business, you then start to not make decisions for yourself, but their voices are in your head, which dictates how you move with the person you're talking to. Like, you're starting to base your decisions off of what people tell you, and what you've heard, and what social media says. And no, God doesn't only allow us to get in relationships and marriages and stuff just so we can have fun and, just so we have somebody. You got to think about, what do you want the marriage for? What do you want the relationship for? What do you want the business for? Once you and your spouse gets connected, you two are on a mission, okay? Y'all are on a mission. Y'all are now one. God has something that he needs you guys to fulfill together. When it's a kingdom marriage, people of this world are having fun. That's why when you see people who are in marriages and relationships and stuff like that, that isn't ordained by God, it falls apart. The enemy don't even have to do nothing to them, because he already knows it's going to end in destruction. That's why he fights you guys so hard, because he knows if y'all get together, how powerful you guys will be together. So he can't allow you guys to reunite. He can't allow you guys to meet, cross paths. He doesn't want you guys to stay together. So he's going to constantly send things you guys' way, try to plant seeds in you guys' head to try to break you guys apart. That's why it's so important for you guys to have that covenant with God, to be seeking God together, keep people out of your business, allow God to lead you, and allow God to confirm that the person that you're with is who he wants you to be with. Otherwise, you just be sitting out here wasting your time. So if you haven't found love yet, it's not because it's not out here. It's not because you'll never find it. It's a lot of you guys right now, too, who are with someone who God is telling you, who God told you to leave a long time ago, and you're still with them. So no, you will never find your spouse if you're still messing around, flirting with the counterfeit. Let them go. They're wasting your time, and you know it. That's all they want to do. They will even emit out their own mouth. God will allow your enemies to emit out their own mouth how they truly feel about you, and to allow you to see that they don't really have a good heart for you. They know you have a good heart. Instead of you recognizing what's really truly in their heart about you, you want to skip past that and look at the potential. They know you have a good heart, and they know you're a good person. That's why they think they can play with you. The enemy sends people just to steal, kill, and destroy from you, break you down. That's why when you leave out of that bad relationship, you're drained, you're tired, you have no hope, you give up, you don't think it exists. That's what the enemy wants you to do. But I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, because I know that God is going to unite me and my spouse. I know that he has a man out there who's going to love me and my child. I know that what's for me will find me, and it will be blessed, because God will be in it. So don't waste your time giving all of your good years to the wrong people, staying in the wrong environments. All that is going to be hurting you. And that's why you haven't really found what's truly for you yet, because you are not fully woke, and you do not fully understand what God is trying to do within you. Sit in his presence, ask him to search your heart. He'll start revealing things that you need to correct. He'll start revealing people who don't have a good heart for you, telling you who to let go, teaching you who to let in, teaching you how to move forward, strengthening you. Your spirit needs to be woke at all times. That's why he wants us to pray daily, seek him daily, sit in his presence daily. Like, we have to do those things so we can recognize what's for us and what's not. God tells us not to do certain things because it's for our own good. It's for our protection. So when we step out of his will, we have to face the consequences of our actions. And it's okay if you messed up. Everybody, it's a part of life. This is our training ground. Better you learn now than sit in it, then won't be able to recover from it. That's why God intervenes, because he knows if you feel the full weight of that heartbreak, you may not overcome that. You might not get back up. It might kill you. It might be too much. He won't ever reveal all of it to us because he knows it'll be too much for us to carry. That's why he intervenes. He will allow you guys to break up, separate, whatever, because it's not the right time, not the right person, not the right season. He needs to still work on you, and you need to listen. It's for your own good. He loves you enough to allow it to end so he can work on you. So you could be yoked up with the right people, and he'll bring in the right people who really truly have a heart for you and have a heart for God. Be patient enough to wait for what he really has for you, and obedient enough to let go of what he's telling you to let go of. It's all going to work out for your good. When you are brokenhearted, God is near to the brokenhearted. He will never allow you to go through what you're going through alone. When you're hurting, God is hurting. So always remember that. It will be okay. When I was going through my heartbreak, I thought I was never going to get over it. I thought that I would never find another good guy like him. And it wasn't all bad. What me and that guy had wasn't all bad. That's why I hurt so much, because we barely had arguments. We didn't have really have disagreements and stuff. We got along pretty good and we cared for each other, but it just wasn't the right person. And that's okay. Sometimes you will meet good people and it's just not the good person for you. And that is okay. That is totally okay, because God has something better for you. You just have to be patient enough to wait and listen when he's telling you to let go. Something better is on the way. Don't be sitting and waiting around. No. Do what God is telling you to do. Walk in your purpose. Be about your Father's business, okay? God is waiting for you, and God has blessings for you, and God has your person out here for you. You just have to be in position to receive it. So get in position, because it might be coming sooner than you think. And that is all that I have for today's video, you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video.